just in the DH lab in the room that we're in. At 1 o'clock, Susan Schreibman will be giving the talk. She's usually in Ireland, so it's a good chance to hear. And she's going to be talking about 2 digital humanities projects that they're that doing at the National University of Ireland at Maynooth, which actually I don't know where that is in Ireland, but one's on letter. It's called Letters of 1916. They're collecting and digitizing letters around the Easter Uprising. And the other one I can't recall the name of, but it also has to do with the Troubles in Ireland. So anyway, it should be interesting. And Susan Schreibman also is one of the co-editors of the Companion to Digital Humanities, where they came up with the name Digital Humanities, and a former assistant director of MITH. So
cool.
Good person to to check out. At 1 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a good turnout for it because it's sort of opportunistic and wasn't on the original schedule. So
cool.
Yeah. So that's it. That's my announcement. Cool. Just trying to
awesome
turn out the people.
Awesome. So great. Well, today on the agenda, basically, we want to talk about homework from last time. We decided last time that we were going to look kind of at a scope of 5 years as something that is far enough out but also obtainable for where we want to be for digital projects. And we talked about each of us has kind of a different point of view, different interest in terms of the type of digital content we'd like to see sustained on campus. And so the homework was to say, for your particular favorite type of content, where do you think we should be in 5 years? So I think if we just kind of want to go around and talk about what you think. Oh, yes, Mark.
Hi,
do you know
here
everybody?
I don't know everybody.
Okay, we should go around and do names. I'm Kristen.
Hi, Kristen.
Before.
I'm Brad Houston, the University Records Officer.
Brad. Hi, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you. I'm Mark Tasman. I'm the coordinator of Digital Arts and Culture, and I teach in the Journalism, Advertising, and Media Studies department.
Dave Krass. I'm one of the technology group. I do research computing support.
Okay.
I'm Eliza Bettinger. I'm the data and digital person at the HSL.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Lynn. I work with Anne.
Okay. I don't know if we've met before, but
oh,
I've
really?
seen your name.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He comes
okay.
up a lot.
Yeah.
Name-wise.
Yes.
Name-wise.
And Michael Doyle.
Yeah, Michael
is
here.
Yeah.
The endowed chair.
That's right. We this for Elijah or whatever. So, okay.
Okay. Thank you, Anne.
Yes or no?
No.
Doesn't matter.
So Brad, for records, where do we need to be in 5 years?
Oh, I have lots of it.
Oh, good.
About this.
In 5 years.
In
5 years.
Well, honestly, I think the very least we should be doing is having a dedicated records repository.
Dedicated repository.
Yes, and ideally, this is something that deals with digital preservation as well as active records. But I mean, even just having Michael and I were talking about this morning, is we're testing out this Archivematica system, and we just don't have any place to put the records.
Mm-hmm.
And we're running it on a 20 gig thing, and we can in theory connect it to like the U files, but U files is just grossly under resourced for managing the kind of records in the way we need it to be managed.
Mm-hmm.
And there are any number of ways we can deal with this. We can deal with a local thing. We can deal with like a cloud service. We can just do a dark archive in Glacier and call it a day. But anything is better than nothing, which is what we have right now.
So in 5 years, you just want anything.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
Would you scope that in some way for 5 years in terms of how much of the records you're satisfied if there were 10%?
Well, I mean, it's hard. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to scope because it's so much of the records environment at UWM is the Wild West. Like I asked Bob Beck and David Kraus to fill out a survey about how many records they have, and they give me something like 13 terabytes, which seems low, but okay. And then I talked to somebody after our data management thing, and he's talking about records that are, how much do you say, petabytes?
Yeah, it was obscene actually.
Yeah. And it's just like because units have their own IT, they don't get managed under the purview of UITs, and therefore don't get managed under the purview of whatever information governance infrastructure we want to put into play. And so it's hard to make an estimate. You know, I can sort of extrapolate from the amount of material we have now. We have
Yeah, I'm not so much concerned about the size of it, what's the scope of what records you would want to get to in 5 years. We can't do it all in 5 years,
Yeah.
probably, so, is there low-hanging fruit, is there,
well, I
some
think there's definitely
that you'd
low-hanging
love to
fruit.
see within 5 years?
There's
Like
definitely
that?
low-hanging fruit. I mean, I think even if we got, I don't know, even if we got like even 50% of university records in some sort of managed repository, that would be a huge win. I think.
Record archival value or university records?
University records in general. Archival value, I think that's going to be lower as a matter of course.
Why do the
but,
things without archival value need to be in a repository?
well, not necessarily in a repository, but in some sort of managed space. So a content management system, and then the records of archival value, as you say, that's what we would think of with the
So the
repository.
archives records even here,
Yes.
even here. So
Yes.
the archives,
Indeed.
where the priorities shift a little bit.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm thinking about records too that wouldn't necessarily come to the archives, but
For sure. Yeah.
but are going to be maintained permanently. So things like student records, things like
Legal records.
legal
business
records, the
Yep.
data from institutional research. So there's lots of things that aren't necessarily archival but do have long-term value, and I think we need to be thinking about that as well.
Anne?
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this meeting. I was just came back from the Digital Library Federation meeting, and there were a couple of good sessions. One especially about digital preservation, and so I was thinking about where do I want our records to be in 5 years, and this could overlap a little bit with yours. I mean, hopefully my stuff would overlap with a lot of stuff. And what I think I would like to see is fairly simple.